I'm glad Bill made the point that he's not a flat earther, because that really was something I wanted to talk about the other day. I caught one of your shows, Bev, and Shikey was in here, and he put up one of those pictures of you and Blackpool in the background. And that is excellent proof that the Earth is not flat. You think we could go over that?
Go over the fact that everybody agrees that the Earth is not flat.
Yeah,
I didn't
go on
agree
then.
to that.
What do you want to? What do you want to go about
even
it
Rob.
not being flat?
Yeah, Danny's a flat earther. Yeah.
Yeah, that picture shows the Earth's not flat.
Yeah,
I
we know
would say
it's not
that
flat.
every picture can show
Yeah.
that Earth is not flat.
Yeah.
Every single one.
But it actually shows how much curvature there is too, and that's
Oh.
great.
Curvature to what, Blue?
To the water.
What, to the tide
Yeah, the ocean.
or the waves?
The ocean.
Is there any ocean there in that picture?
Well, we know where it is, though. And we know where it will be a few minutes after, or a few hours after you were there, right?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could come. But
Oh.
how does a picture that doesn't show the ocean or water show that the water's curving?
Well, we know where Blackpool Tower is, and we know how high above the water it is, and we know where you were standing, and
It's 14 miles away, Blue. Or
yeah,
13 and a half
at least
miles
at
away.
13.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
you're,
do that sort of thing with an auto level.
well, sure you do.
No, you don't. Did you not see it when we were doing that? We were doing a sight test to see how far you could see. And we had a measuring rod there, so you could actually see the measuring rod to see what sort
Yeah, you
of
gotta read the
reading you
numbers.
could make.
No,
You
you can't read.
made the mistake, like Chikey, of looking in the background and looking past what we were taking it there for.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, though.
Yeah, there is. That's what we went there to go and show people
Can I-
how far you can effectively see through an auto level. Once you've got the pictures, let us know. To check your Stadia hairs if you can read them. That's all I want to see.
It's a bit tilted now.
I'm after 500 meters, and we're at 75 at the minute. So let's get this going.
For the Stadia hairs, you'll have to.
And read it on the measuring rod. We went way too
Oh, yeah.
further than we should do. Anyway.
Well, we don't need to read it on the
even within
measuring
that,
rod.
but you weren't even looking at that. You were looking 14 miles in the distance. Nice. So are we happy with that then?
Yeah.
500 meters.
Barely see the stick. No numbers.
Yeah,
Just the
I think
colors.
that's very good.
What's been the change at Blackpool Tower then? Within these shots.
Huge. You're halfway.
Oh yeah.
The pole is halfway, Bev. Now.
There's been
There
a
you go.
change. No way. Things dropping.
You wouldn't expect it, but
What?
Yeah, and you've changed size as well, because at the beginning you were just as big as Blackpool Tower, and now you're just this tiny person.
Yeah. Wow. Who'd have thunk it? All right, are we ready then? Can we come back and pack up? 'Cause I don't think the batteries are going to last long.
Yeah.
We need.
Yeah, that's
All right.
that's it. That's the
Yeah, we're striking the building. Can I share my screen? Is there any way I can do that?
All right. Have you got some of the clip? Well, let's get it on. Yeah, we need to sort your rolls out. Can somebody give Blue a roll for a short while? Blue, can you live stream? You have got the live streaming roll. Is it working?
Yeah, it looks like it is now. Hang on a second. Okay. I hear you. Can you see my screen?
I didn't really understand that. I can see your screen. Yeah.
You can see that? Good. Let's see here. That's the picture that Shaky brought the other day, right? Blackpool Tower,
No, I
made through
can
an auto
only
level.
see Discord.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I'm seeing too.
All right, let me try something different. We might be able to do it this way. Let me see. Let me stop sharing for a second.
I think you're sharing the wrong screen.
Yeah. Here, let's do this. Now you should be able to see it.
Yes.
Now you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, that should be okay. That's the picture Shaky brought, right?
Well,
It's
see,
Blackpool
the
Tower
picture
in
in
the
the background is when we went and did that test, right, for optics. The bit on the right and the little picture of Blackpool Tower from a completely different perspective,
right,
are put on by Chaiki. Yes.
Yeah, I recognize that. I didn't have a clean shot of the video itself, so I just used the one Shaky had. But yeah, everybody should realize obviously that's not that's added on. That's an overlay that Shaky added to it. That's just a picture of Blackpool from a very close distance.
Yeah, I think I'm about 500 meters away at that distance. I mean, what sort of number can you read on the measuring rod? I am holding a measuring rod.
Yeah, you can't.
Okay. Do you know why we went there that day? Because George said that he could measure accuracy of 1 arc second over 500 meters. So we got obviously we weren't clever enough to do the maths ourselves, so we got somebody to do a calculation of what 1 arc second over 500 meters would be, and it turns out it's about 2.5 mil. So we said 3, and then we went 500 meters away and then went, go on then, 3 mil accuracy.
Well, yeah,
that's why we went there, to show that specifically, to show that some people claim fucking ridiculous things that they don't even seem to understand what they're saying. Blue, it's like they're not even possible what they say that they claim they can do. That's why we went there, to show people that these claims that people make are ridiculous. That's why you have an operating range of like about 100 meters, not 500 like in that picture.
No, it has to do with what you can read. That's really what it has to do with. That's what you're talking about. And most auto level manufacturers that you'll run into, as you'll see here very shortly, will tell you that you can read about 1/16 of an inch at 250 feet. And that's if you've got a 32x.
Yeah, to a millimeter. That's what we've said. That's why the operating range
is
about
if you go up to
meters.
And if you go up to like 40x, you can read it out to about 100 meters or so. And that's going to be probably about as good as you can do without some precision type equipment. That's
exactly
this sort of
why
auto
we
level.
went out there, Blue, to do these tests live. What we do,
a digital auto level, but
this is called On the Level Discord server, right? Because we put the camera on the level, and then we do these tests. We go out there to show people.
It's brilliant. Yeah. It's absolutely brilliant.
It is.
It certainly is. But accidentally, in the background, we have Blackpool. We still have that thing sitting there.
No, it's just the measuring rods. You never look in the background, right? When you when you're doing
Blue, you think that was an accident, Blue? You think that was an accident? I said, you think that was an act? You think they put Blackpool in the background on accident?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it was very intentional, but accidentally in the back, and that's great. Good. I'm glad you did that. Absolutely glad you did that. But you don't think that's showing Earth curvature, and I think you're wrong. So let's go.
Where's curve? I don't see curve.
Let's go to that question. I'll show it to you in a minute. Do auto levels have a range limit? Do they really?
Yeah, for operating accurately to millimeter, like we sort of require first order measurement, right? 1 millimeter.
Yeah, to be able to read it, right? To be able to read the scale. That's what we're
in
saying.
order to be able to measure accurately and use the tool accurately. Yes.
Well, they don't have any specified maximum range, do they?
No, you
This is
have to
Leica.
establish that yourself, Blue. Yes, that's why
Right, this is
you
a-
need to go out and see how far you can actually see. That's why we put the camera on the auto level to show people what you can actually see at these distances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But my
Mhm.
point is, there is no specified maximum range for an auto level.
Yeah, but your
I've heard a lot
point
of people
seems
say
to
that
be
there
that
is,
you're
but
looking
there
in the
isn't.
distance, right? You're forgetting to look at the
Well,
measuring rod and
if
see
you
what
weren't
we're sort
there,
of saying.
if you weren't standing there, would Blackpool Tower still be out there?
Blackpool Tower is still there, as far as I know.
Okay, all right.
I mean, but I haven't seen it.
Blue.
Actually, I saw it earlier today. It was
And
definitely
Blue,
there
that's
earlier
why-
today.
and if you're
Sorry.
standing there, if you're standing there or you're not standing there, would the roof of that building between you and the actual tower itself still have an elevation of about 100 feet above sea level? Yes or no?
That's why I brought up the clouds, Blue. Like
Blue,
the clouds are dropping down.
Blackpool Tower is
and
set
appear to be
there. It
curving. Are
doesn't
they curving, Blue?
move anywhere.
Okay, right.
There's no
we know.
land side lifting it up and putting it back down again. They don't exist, Blue. Land
So we know how
tides
high.
don't exist.
Yeah, so we know how high
Stationary.
Blackpool
Doesn't
Tower is.
move.
We know exactly how far it is above the sea level. Above sea level. We know that you're not very far above sea level with that auto level, are you?
I'm on the beach doing a test, Blue.
On the beach, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that
Doing
and
an
that beach
optics
is
test
fairly
to show
flat,
people
right?
how far you can see through the auto
Blue, what's
level.
the slope?
It's the beach.
We're not talking about the slope.
Of course, Blue
of
knows
anything.
what you're
We're talking
talking
about level.
The drop.
We're talking about level.
They're talking
Brian.
about the drop, Brian.
Is
He
the
wants
auto
to have
the
this
auto
some
level
drop.
is showing the auto level is sitting
Right.
level.
Come
with the
on,
sun,
Blue.
right?
Get through your slideshow. Come on, Brian.
Okay.
Leave Blue to do his presentation.
Roger that.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Here's another auto level. This one happens to be Trimble. This is one where you see them tell you the leveling accuracy, and it comes up with numbers like you're talking about, Biff. You can see 1.5 millimeters at 75 meters. You can see about a 1/16 of an inch at 250 feet. Those numbers are equivalent. That's about 4.2 arc seconds, more or less. Okay. I went through a bunch of these. Here's one from Topcon. Again, no specified maximum range. Same thing with this Nikon. This is an expensive Nikon. Those
Can I just ask you a question, Blue?
Yeah.
None of those are 14 miles away.
What do you mean?
They're not
There's no specified range.
There's no. That's my point. There's no specified range. It's shooting level.
Blue thinks 14 miles is within because it doesn't say a specified range. Do you reckon you could read the measuring rod? Because we've done this before.
No,
Blue.
of course not.
Tripod,
but
auto
I'm not
level,
trying,
measuring
but
rod,
Bev,
the three constituent parts.
But Bev, I'm not trying to read the measuring rod.
You should be.
What I'm
That's
trying to
one
read.
of the constituent parts of the
What I'm trying to
auto
read,
level
Bev,
process.
what I'm trying to read is the height of that building in the distance.
You shouldn't do that, Blue. You
Well,
shouldn't try
there's
and
nothing wrong
read
with
the
it. It's
height of a
perfectly
building
fine,
with
Bev.
in 40
Let me show you
miles.
That's
with
not
an
how the
auto
tool
level.
works.
In fact, there's your auto level, Bev. There's no range specified on it either.
Yes.
So, okay, so we're in agreement that
It's
no
good.
auto
It's
level
good spec,
manufacturer.
isn't
I
it?
got one just like that.
For the price, Blue. It's look at the specs on it for the price.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Top
Yes,
top grade, isn't it?
I love it. I love this thing. The compensator setting accuracy is 0.3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Even the expensive ones don't get down that good, typically. Yeah, this thing is great, and for the money, it's outstanding. I listened to your video.
Mm-hmm. Where George
So really, the only
George was dissing it, wasn't
the only
he?
limitation when we're using an auto level or a theodolite, the only real limitation we have is what the human eye can resolve at the rod, right?
Blue, you don't really mean you
under
can
the sky.
shoot stars with the auto
Yeah,
level, do you?
You can shoot out in the distance and see and see what star is at on
What
the,
stars
in
do you
the, in the
reckon it
sky
would see? What
at that elevation, appearing
what
at the elevation
elevation,
of the auto
Blue?
level. The elevation of the auto level, Biff.
Uh-huh. So
It's
whatever
it's
you
an auto
look
level,
at,
right?
that's the elevation.
It's a device that establishes a horizontal plane, right?
So all points on that plane would have an equal elevation.
Yeah, with respect to, in reference to that plane, yes.
Oh,
So what about the
dear,
clouds, Blue? What about
Are
the
you
clouds
sure? Do
behind
you not
that?
want to take that one back?
Hmm?
I'll give you a mulligan on that one.
No,
I'll
need
go
to
over
know
it again.
yeah.
All points on a horizontal plane have an equal elevation. Are you okay with that?
All points on a plane do not have an equal elevation. No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, so the auto level.
Elevation's got a different definition. Horizontal is not level. When you're talking about elevations, we're talking about with respect to level,
Yeah,
not
the
to a
auto
horizontal
level.
plane. Yeah, the auto level doesn't establish that.
Doesn't
It establishes
establish
a
points at an
horizontal
equal
plane.
elevation.
No, it doesn't.
You sure?
Yeah, positive.
Oh.
Auto levels do not establish equal elevations. They establish a horizontal plane.
Well, aren't the measurements on the vertical from that horizontal plane where you get the elevation change?
Say what now?
On the tool establishes a horizontal plane. Now we measure an elevation change by measuring a vertical change.
Yeah, and this is another
from
reason
that horizontal plane, from the tool, the auto level.
This is another reason why
particularly for establishing elevation
changes. You
changes.
just kind of talk over me, so okay. This is another reason why we don't use auto levels out past 50 or 75 yards normally, because at that distance, the deviation from horizontal due to curvature of the Earth is minor. It's less than a millimeter. It really doesn't make any difference.
Dropping a mile in 20 miles.
We're dealing with an auto level.
Yeah, it's an auto level. Exactly.
Yeah, but he's trying to
you're
use
not,
auto
you're
level.
not looking at clouds, are you? Blue.
Say what?
You're not looking at the clouds, are you?
No, we're not looking at clouds. We're looking,
He's not
at,
looking
the,
at the clouds,
at the building in the distance.
Okay. And you're saying there is a vertical change from that horizontal established 14 miles in the distance. You do realize that the crosshair is like about half an inch away from where your eyeball is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And that the image comes through a prism system. So the image actually, once it's finished coming through the prism system, is only about an inch away as well.
Yeah, really.
After all of that.
They're very precise instruments, though, and they are good. Some of them to an arc second, no doubt about that.
Not over 14 miles.
Oh, certainly. That doesn't change, Bev.
No,
the distance away.
The crosshairs
that deviation,
in the auto
that
level.
1 arc second deviation exists whether you're a foot away from the front of the auto level or 100 miles away from it.
Because the crosshair is within the instrument.
Arc seconds are arc seconds, Bev. That's beyond the instrument. That is a deviation from true horizontal to where those crosshairs are.
The crosshairs
1 arc
right
second,
you agree with George?
no matter what distance. Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't matter what distance.
Do you agree with George's claim, Blue? That the arc second accuracy over 500 meters?
I don't know what George's claim is.
1 second accuracy over 500 meters.
Yeah, 1 arc second accuracy over any distance. It doesn't make any difference how far you go.
You can't see it. We've just shown that.
I've just explained it to you.
But
it's an angle. That angle doesn't change with distance.
You can't
The
see
angle is
that 3
established at the
millimeters.
instrument. The angle is established at the instrument, nowhere else. Here's a little document that you might be interested in. You probably know these guys, Bev, the National Oceanography Center. That's a British outfit. They're the guys responsible for all your tide gauges
Okay.
and
Sorry, I have a question.
tide gauge benchmarks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Because you said that this is a deviation, this arc second, and this not very accurate measurement is showing discrepancy between horizontal or level and Earth curve. But from what you said, it means that this discrepancy would be from just horizontal. So if the outer level is slightly off, it means that it would mean that it is slightly off from normal straight horizontal also. No curvature needed to account for that.
That's right. That's right. That is the accuracy of the instrument. It can get within an arc second.
So if we were measuring
perfectly
2 foot off,
horizontal.
if we were measuring 2 foot off the ground and looking through the auto level, it would appear to be coming up, right?
Yep.
Off in the distance. So how are you basing these long distance structures on as being accurate?
No,
when
I think
I'll show
everybody's
you.
getting it mistaken here, right? We didn't go there to set the accuracy. We went there to show that George claimed he could get an accuracy of 1 arc second. So what we were showing was that George supposedly would be able to measure 1 arc second over that distance.
Right. Was it a 24
like
zoom or a
moving
32
his
zoom?
thing 1 arc second to look at something. So he knew what 1 arc second changes. And that's 2.5 mil over 500 meters. Impossible. That's why we went to show exactly what we went to show. That George is claiming ridiculous things. You can't claim these arc second accuracies if you can't see them.
The manufacturer claims the arc second accuracy on distances that they can measure, Bev. That's why they tell you a 1/16 of an inch at 250 feet.
How you gonna mark
it.
it if you can't see it?
That's your limit.
But you can see that. Okay, hang on a second. We'll get there, right? Let's go back to this, though. These guys talk about leveling because they are responsible for maintaining the tide gauge benchmarks all around England. Okay, and this is an interesting document. It talks about auto levels. It talks about how they work. In fact, when I go to the next page, you'll see there's the prisms, mirrors. The suspended prism and the mirrors you were talking about, Beth. All in there. But then they talk about errors and leveling. So I'll make that big enough that everybody can see it. There are a large number of potential error sources in leveling. Many of these are only significant for precision leveling over long distances. For shorter segments of leveling, they will not occur in connecting the tide gauge benchmark to nearby benchmarks. There are only 3 worth mentioning: collimation error, error due to Earth curvature, and error due to refraction.
Why do we need Earth curvature? We just have the collimation and the refraction, the 2 that are provable.
Well, the Earth curvature is pretty provable too, Brian. Here we go. Here's the auto level setup. Here's the horizontal it's shooting. This is where the actual reading is, where you see my little hand moving around. You'd really like it to follow. You'd like the line of sight to follow the curvature of the Earth, but it doesn't. So you're always shooting above where the actual point is. Now, if you get far enough back,
Blue. When you're shooting with your level, you're shooting on the horizontal, like exactly where you plan to.
You're shooting horizontal here.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're meant to do. That rod
is not a constant elevation.
That rod
That's
isn't.
not a constant
that rod isn't
elevation above the
perpendicular.
surface.
Blue.
That's not a constant elevation above
That
the surface. It's a
rod
cartoon,
isn't. The rod isn't perpendicular.
Bill, don't be childish.
I'm
This
not.
is
I'm
just a
not.
cartoon.
Blue, I'm telling you,
Simply a cartoon.
you get
That's
sacked
all
if
it
you
is.
weren't holding the rod
It's telling-
perpendicular.
Well, it would be it is intended to show perpendicular here at this point
It's
where
not
it's sitting.
perpendicular, Blue. That's not perpendicular to the horizontal.
Okay, it's a cartoon, Biff. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
If that's causing you a problem, maybe
Okay, I mean, you can carry on, Blue, but I'm just putting in my objection, saying that is not perpendicular.
Okay, all right. I agree. In that cartoon, that auto level would be shooting over a distance of a couple of thousand miles of the Earth. Yeah, you're right.
And your platform's really high for an observation in this drawing.
Yeah, it is. You'd be way, way up in the air.
Yeah, but
That's
Blue, my
above-
whole point was
that's above the space shuttle.
my whole
That's
point was
above
that the
ISS. But anyway, that's what the British government thinks about it. And they talk about refraction. Of course, that is something you've got to be concerned about too. Refraction is always present, no matter what. We're looking through an atmosphere, period. There's no way around it. You got to deal with refraction. But if you don't like those citations, let's talk about the Ordnance Survey.
What's the biggest distance you've ever looked through your auto level? Like,
Probably 15 miles.
seriously?
Also, if you
Probably 50. Probably about, yeah, well.
If you insist,
maybe more close to what you're talking about, but probably closer to 13 miles.
About 15.
And you read your
11,
measuring rod 13 miles away?
No, I didn't. I was shooting at some television antennas on Sharps Ridge, about 13 miles from where I live.
Oh, come on.
So you weren't
Blue.
doing differential leveling?
No, that's not intended to be a discussion
What would
of
you?
differential leveling.
But that's what the tool's for.
Well,
no?
The tool is that's what the tool's for, but the tool can show us other
thank you.
things.
Thank you very much. Thanks for admitting that's what the tool's for.
Of course,
that's not what you were doing with the tool.
So what you're doing, you're not actually using the tool for auto leveling, right? You're not using it for differential leveling.
Yeah, no. Bev, give me a sec. He's trying to hammer a screw.
Well, that's your opinion, but despite that, it is what it is.
You tried to use official documents, but now you're letting people know that what you're talking about isn't actual procedure.
Nobody said it was, Beth. Nobody ever represented this as a procedure.
You're trying to pretend it because you're showing official documents for the tools.
Yes, I am showing official documents.
Well, yeah, but they're not talking about going 14 miles, Blue.
They're talking about the accuracy of the instrument, Bill.
Not over 14 miles, Blue.
It's specified. It doesn't matter. It's specified in an angle, Bill.
No, I think you're misunderstanding them. I don't. If anybody's thinking of buying auto levels, please don't buy them on the Blues.
A foot away from the lens of that auto level.
Use of auto
occurs
levels.
A mile away from it, 10 miles away from it, or 100 miles away from it.
These are tools for professional use.
Still 1 arc second, no matter what you say.
Please don't listen to globe
and of course
scientists.
And of course,
blue marble scientists.
This would be the Ordnance Survey, and I think you've had some exchanges with these guys too, haven't you, Biv?
Yeah, it's well documented, Blue. You should know that.
Yeah,
you can also apparently you can request the DMs off Ordnance Survey that I've had with them. Contact, you can just say, excuse me, Ordnance Survey, can you show me the DMs, the conversations that you had with Try Thinking? And they'll go, yes, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I probably could. I've seen them, so I don't really need to do that. But
yeah.
This statement says it all, I think. Of course, it cannot be. The Earth is round.
Chaiki was meant to be
Any
doing this tonight.
gravitationally level surface.
Are you doing this for Chaiki?
No, I'm just doing it because I found it very interesting.
Oh, Chaiki came to you. Chaiki's been talking about doing this all today.
That you managed to capture all the information. Let's see, make sure I get the next slide.
Brian, can you not see that Blue's trying to slander me or whatever with these pictures that we did when we went to do a test? Blue's talking about Blackpool Tower 14 miles in the distance away from the actual test that we were doing. Stop talking about clouds.
There's no attempt to slander you, Bill. I'm just looking at your picture. That's all.
Yeah, I know, but you're trying to do something that isn't actually used within the manuals, even though you've had a few descriptions of different products there. You're going to pretend that 14 miles in the distance that people survey and can get sort of these measurement readings, which is ridiculous, Blue.
Am I imagining that that's Blackpool Tower? Is it or is it not?
That's definitely Blackpool Tower, yes, Blue.
There you go. Am I imagining that the top of the Blackpool Tower is about 519 feet, and the point where your stadia tick is, there, the top one, is about 440 feet?
I wouldn't have a clue, Blue. I would never do that sort of ridiculous things.
Well, you can.
And we're there looking at the measuring rod, showing people exactly what you can read on the measuring rod. And why. The reason why you don't go beyond these limits of the operating ranges of the tool. That's exactly why we were doing it.
Well, there's no operating range to the tool.
There is. That's exactly why we put Blackpool Tower in the background. Blue.
If you're doing differential leveling, that's another thing, but that's not what we're doing here.
No, we're showing the optical limits of an auto level and why you don't look beyond that. Blue.
Like your crosshair there is a horizontal plane of reference, and it extends infinitely out into the distance.
Right. So I was trying to give a reason to see that.
Would you disagree would you disagree that the crosshair is sitting at about somewhere between 90 and 100 feet above sea level based on the height of that building?
It's the crosshair in the eyepiece of the auto level, Blue.
Yeah, but it's lined up with about, I'd say 95 feet or so.
Within the operating ranges of the tool, Blue.
And sea level's down below that somewhere, plus or minus. Who knows exactly where it is? I can't make it out from the picture, but I don't really care about that. And I'll tell you why. Because we've got 2 points there. One is the upper tick, stadia tick, that's there at about 440 feet, and the roof line of that building, which is about 100 feet. We can verify all of that. That's quite easy to find. Now, that's interesting because if we subtract the 100 feet from the 440 feet, we know that distance is about 340 feet, don't we? And that is from the upper stadia tick to the crosshair. That means another 340 feet down to the lower stadia tick.
At what distance would it not match a water level, Blue? Like let's say it matches the water level perfect horizontally over 100 meters.
Blue, are you trying to say my measuring rod's 340 feet?
No, I'm saying
it looks about a metre and a half or something. That really.
At Blackpool Tower.
You're not equating a metre and a half with 340. I'm 340 feet tall. No way, Blue. I'm not that big. I mean, I may seem like big of stature and all of that sort of thing, but there's no way I'm 340 feet.
340 feet pertains to 2 points on that building. That's all.
I think you're 100 feet on his scale.
It's 200. It's 2 points on that structure.
How can you have 340 feet and then 100 feet?
Okay.
How does that even work, Blue?
Are you saying Blackpool Tower is only 3
are
feet
like
tall?
240 feet below sea level?
Okay, so how tall is Blackpool Tower again?
Sure, you got the. Who gave you? Did Shaky help you with these numbers?
Blackpool Tower doesn't look like it's much taller than you are. So what is it? 6 feet tall? Is that how tall Blackpool is? I'm telling you, the height between the marks.
I'd say
you've got confused.
Shut up for a second and let me finish. I'm saying that the distance between the point on that tower delineated by the crosshair and the upper stadia tick is 340 feet.
I'd ask him like this, Blue. At what point is the
please. Brian.
At what point of the crosshair is not horizontal?
That means
the crosshairs are about half a fucking inch away from your eyes.
Well, look at this. This is amazing, Bill.
Blue, 680 feet. Yeah, feet. But that's not 680 feet, is it?
Between the stadia marks.
You've got lost, Blue. You don't know what you're doing anymore.
Well, okay.
Who's
Here's the problem.
advised you to do this?
I don't think you understand what stadium marks are.
I
do
think you've
you?
absolutely
Probably never
messed
used
up
them, have
there,
you?
Blue. See the measuring rod.
See, stadium marks are used for tachymetric distance estimation. That's what you use them for.
Yes.
If you know what they are. You know what do you know what the constant is?
You
for
need
your,
the
for
measuring
your auto
rod,
level?
Blue.
No, you don't.
The
Do
measuring
you know
rod
what
is
the,
a
he doesn't believe in the
constituent
measuring rod.
part of
no,
this
not necessarily.
operating
You just need to know.
procedure.
You
Yes.
simply need to know a
1 to
verified
100, Blue.
distance.
It
That's
don't
all.
have to be a measuring rod. It could be a tape measure. It could be a freaking story pole,
Right.
basically.
It could be anything that you know the height of. Anything.
No, Blue.
Yes, Bev. Sorry. And
No,
680
you need
feet times the
the
100
auto
times.
level, the tripod,
Your
and
factor is
the
100.
measuring rod.
68,000
The
feet.
3
And
constituent
68,000 feet
parts.
is 12.9 miles. Imagine that, Bev. I can use the stadium marks and that Blackpool Tower in the background to tell you how far away you were. The auto level was about 12.9 miles away. Now, this is not very precise because we are guessing
You're
a
just
bit
using your
at
imagination,
exactly what
Blue.
point on the tower
These
is
aren't
and exactly how,
standard
at what
surveying
point on that building it
procedures.
is at the crosshairs.
This is
But
globe surveying, Blue.
it absolutely
This is
proves that your
imagi
instrument
surveying.
is very good and very accurate.
You're just imagining things. You're not
It's
living in
amazing.
reality, Blue.
It is absolutely amazing. I'm looking at something 300. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Blackpool Tower, which is 519 feet documented in height. We know how tall it is. And we can pick various points off of it and estimate the distance between those, the height of those, between those points. Just like I've done
Are
here.
you really thinking there's 340 feet tall? Me?
No, I think the tower is. I think the tower, that section of the tower,
You
where
shouldn't
the
be
upper stadia
looking at
tick
the
mark
tower,
is
Blue.
down to the roof of that building
Can
is
you
about
not see me
340
stood there
feet.
with a
Bill.
measuring rod?
That's what I think. Are you saying it isn't?
Can you see me stood there with a measuring rod?
I'm not
Blue?
looking at you. I'm looking at Blackpool Tower.
I know. That's hilarious. That's the funny thing about it. That's exactly why we put
That's what's so
Blackpool Tower
brilliant
there.
about this. You
Yeah,
absolutely
because you
showed us
should
something.
be looking at the measuring rod, Blue.
Well,
We're using an auto level.
Okay.
We just used Blackpool Tower as a good, nice
He's not
backdrop.
using the tool the way it was designed. Doing whatever gimmicks he wants to do with the tool.
Well, it's not a gimmick.
It's a
perfectly
gimmick.
legitimate.
You don't understand optics if you don't
Perfectly
understand that it
legitimate.
doesn't work
Well,
beyond
apparently.
reading the story pole. And they'll laugh it off. You just
Blue, you're
This
laughing,
is
bro,
good,
but you're
Blue.
laughing, Blue. But look, what if we put scope
This
fingers
is
to an
good,
auto
Blue,
level?
because we can do this. We've got all of the stuff set up. We've done all of the testing. We can go out there and put a camera on an auto level and go back out there and do it again. Everyone can be
absolutely
sat in here, right?
Yeah, I know that.
And look and see what's on the auto level. We're not hiding anything.
I know you can.
Blue,
Got
on
this.
actor,
We've got
right?
Blackpool on this page, right? Everybody else can see it. Blackpool Tower. Blue's doing a presentation. It's not Skunk Bay.
I know, but he's showing that. I mean, I'm trying to defend what we are actually seeing.
I'd like to get through it because Blue's misrepresenting me because we went out there and did a test. Blue's completely ignoring me and the measuring rod.
Yeah, I am. I'm using your picture, Bev. I just used your picture. That's all.
I got a question for Blue and Bev. Okay, at what point are the crosshairs not lining up with horizontal and don't match the water level?
Don't know. We've not got that far, Brian. But we have got tests to be able to do that. But first off, we need to establish that a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane. If we don't do that first, nothing counts. Nothing matters.
And we got some an interesting test right here, accidentally. I know you didn't mean to do this, but it is a way of looking at something. And it's amazing, isn't it? We can estimate that the distance 13 miles away is about 680 feet at that tower.
So you
between
think that
the
proves
stadium
Earth
marks.
curve, right? Look, you think that proves
Well,
Earth
just hold
curve?
on. Just hold on a minute. We haven't proven anything yet.
There's no
I'm just
estimating
what
in
I've shown.
differential leveling.
Well, I'm not differential leveling now, am I?
Then you're not. Then put the tool away.
I'm not.
Go get
I'm not,
go get yourself a scope and just look at shit.
Can we be honest to everybody here, Blue? Can we be honest, right, with everybody here?
I'm being
my
very honest,
position, yes, my position, I will be honest. My position is that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. And your position is different.
I'll say what mine is.
Go on.
My position is level is not horizontal.
That's just a knot.
Not.
Okay. So, like, sloping?
Level is not horizontal.
So it could be a slope then.
Level is a curved line.
It's
is
a
what
curve, right? Okay, that's a little bit more specific.
All right.
Okay.
But horizontal is still straight.
My position is level is
horizontal's nice and straight. But look, here's the curious part. We do all of these things and we come up with your numbers. You said you were 13 miles away. The stadium marks on your instrument say you were 13 miles away.
Okay. So that
I'd say
tool
looks
there,
pretty
the
good.
auto level, is establishing a horizontal.
Yeah, it
But
is.
you don't think that's level. So
No, that's not
where
level.
is the level in that picture?
Oh, it's below
Please.
that point. I'll show you here in a second. Let's see. That's what we see, right?
In your world, it
But
goes
we
up,
know that-
right? Level
but
goes
we
up
know-
and then back down.
Yeah, we could. So on the measuring rod, let's say it's reading 1.5 meters, right?
I'm
And
not
then
looking
you're
at the
going to
measuring
say
rod.
you're going to say there's a curvature.
No, I'm not looking at the measuring rod at all. I'm saying this is what we should see, right?
What?
Yeah, but
no, man, you don't even understand what the
That
tools
one on the
used
left
for.
is from the beach outside
we
at
should see.
Blackpool. No, it's not. It's like
This is what we should see, yeah.
completely different perspective. Blue.
Your stud,
Blue.
your
Blue.
auto level is stood what?
Blue.
5 feet
Blue.
off the beach.
Blue, please.
Your water level is stood what, Bev? 5
There is
feet off
about
the beach?
1 mile of buildings before you get to Blackpool Tower in the picture that you're looking at before. That picture is a picture of the front of Blackpool Tower, which isn't where Blackpool Tower is. It's not. You can't get a picture from Southport of Blackpool Tower's front. It's not possible.
No, I know that. I know that, Biff. I realize.
So there's
you can't do that.
there's what you've got
I
here.
realize
You've
you
got
can't do
Southport
that.
Beach,
But
you've
that
got
building is the
Ainsdale
tallest
Beach, right?
building.
Blue. Then you've got
That building you're
Preston
looking at there.
Port. There's a channel where boats
This one
can
right
go in.
here.
Then you've got Lytham St Anne's front there, and then you've got a mile's worth of buildings between St Anne's, Lytham St Anne's,
right
and
there
where
is
Blackpool
this
Tower
little
is.
bit right
Yes,
here.
it's
Can you
miles
see
away.
this is this roof line, and that's this roof line here. And all these buildings that you're talking about are lower than this one. So that's the highest thing we're seeing. That's the thing that's blocking the bottom of.
But that's looking
Blackpool,
from the
of
front
tower
of
itself.
Blackpool Tower.
This is you're looking at it from this direction, where my
Which
little hand
direction?
is right there.
It's not horizontal.
Sure, you can, Brian.
What
The
are you talking about?
accuracy doesn't- The angular accuracy of the auto level doesn't change with distance.
Well, then why would it
It
say
can't.
that then, Blue? Why would
Where
it
does it
say
say?
that?
What
Why
says
would
it?
it? Why would it say that it's
I
not
don't know what
accurate?
you're referencing, Brian.
But
No,
number
you,
of
well, let's say we know
number
this.
of
If
full of,
meters, it's not
full-
accurate.
All right, look. The fact is, that's what you ought to see, and that's not what we see. We don't.
Well,
see
wait,
it
if
at
it's Earth curve, then it'd still be accurate, right? If the Earth is curving, then it would still be accurate, right?
all. What did I just do? Let me see.
You're saying that it's not. I mean, they're telling you it's not accurate past 100 meters. The
Who?
booklet, the
Who?
manufacturers, but you're saying that it is, and we can measure Earth curve. I mean, if it's accurate, then why are they
No,
saying it's not accurate?
Blue's
Blue?
already said he's not looking at the measuring rod.
Not looking at it. Don't
Yeah.
care about your measuring rod. I'm not looking at
But
that. I'm looking at
that's
the
one
tower.
of the constituent parts of
Well,
an auto
here's
level.
the question. Here was the question: is the instrument accuracy a problem? Now, for an auto level with a measurement accuracy of 1/8 of an inch at 150
With the
feet, and that's a really
measuring
shitty
rod.
auto level.
The
That's a
measuring
shitty
rod,
one.
Blue.
That's
The
one
measuring rod.
with like a 24x optic on it. 1/8 inch at 150 feet over
You never
13
wonder
miles.
why
the
I'm always got a
accuracy of it
measuring rod
then
in my hand.
becomes 0.125 times 5280 per mile. times 13 miles divided by 150 feet. The accuracy at 13 miles of that auto level is 57.2 inches, or about 5
And
feet.
why are they saying not to do it past 100 meters then, Blue? Why?
Because you need the measuring rod.
But a wonderful instrument like
Bev,
that,
I was asking
it's an
Blue.
excellent
I
instrument.
know the answer, Bev. I was asking
An
Blue,
excellent
man.
instrument.
You got to
And
stop
Bev's-
ignoring the
Bev's
measuring
instrument-
rod.
Bev's instrument is like
Stop
16
ignoring the
0.0655
measuring rod.
times 5,280 times 13 divided by 250. Your instrument, Bev, will only be off about 17 inches at 13 miles. How about
That's
that?
fucking hilarious.
That's the way it works. Sorry.
So it's accurate all the way up to the miles, basically. So why do they say not to use it less than 100 feet?
Of course, you don't have a measuring.
Okay.
Of course, you don't have a measuring rod.
Let's go with that. It's accurate up to that. So that picture there shows what? The Blackpool Tower. There's a drop, is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Of how much drop?
Well, we're about to get to that. The roof of the building is at 100 feet above sea level. The distance to Blackpool is about 13 miles. Over that distance, the drop at 8 inches per mile squared is 112.7 feet.
What about the cloud in the
That's how much
background,
drop.
Blue? You going to analyze that?
I
too?
ain't worried about the cloud. I'm worried about it because I don't know how big the cloud is, and I don't know how far away the cloud is.
You
Now,
know,
I can't
you
even
know,
figure
cumulus
out how
clouds
far away
can't
the
form
cloud
under
is.
1 mile, right? It
And I
can't
can't
form
even
under
figure
1
out
mile.
how far it is,
Come on,
away
Brian,
it is
forget
because
about
I don't know the size
cloud.
of it.
Please, man.
So 112.7 feet would be the actual geometric drop. But we got a problem. We've got refraction involved, and refraction is going to reduce that amount of drop. It always does. When you take refraction into account, the drop ought to be about 94 feet. Now, that is, in fact, exactly what we're seeing. That's about how much drop you see there. Stick it in Walter Bilson's curve calculator.
You mean 7/6R?
Yeah.
So light knows
For
the size of the Earth now. All of a sudden,
standard that's just based on standard refraction, and it worked out quite well. This is run simply with standard refraction, and you see.
Yeah, so it's flattened out your a little bit.
Somebody
drops about
Brian,
94
please,
feet.
I'm sorry, Blue. Brian, Blue's trying to give a presentation here. This isn't the way we act. Give him space. This is groundbreaking stuff.
Oh, I don't think that's true, but yeah.
It is. What you're doing is you're taking a picture from somebody. You're ignoring.
Hey, let him give his presentation, Bev.
You're ignoring.
Fuck. Back off.
You're ignoring the presentation. There you go. You're ignoring what we were actually doing, right? You're ignoring what we went there for.
Yeah. I'm using.
And you're looking in beyond the limits of the actual tool to
No,
measure
I'm not looking
a
beyond the
drop.
limits. There are no limits to the tool. We've already established that. There's no maximum specified.
So
that's what Bislin's. That's what Bislin's
I'd say that there is definitely limits, Blue.
At standard refraction, 7/6R. Let's make refraction really bad. How about this one? I ran it. Look at the coefficient of refraction I've got down here now. Instead of 0.17, I've got 0.5. Strong refraction. That doesn't look like a day that had strong refraction, but okay. You still have 57 feet of drop, 56 feet of drop. That's not what that's what we're seeing.
So you're saying there's an elevation drop?
I'm saying that. What do you mean, an elevation drop?
Well, as I say, the auto level, the tool, establishes a horizontal plane, and any change in the vertical from that will be classed as an elevation change.
It's not an elevation change. It's a drop from horizontal.
That's what the tool does, Blue. That's what an auto level does.
So it establishes a horizontal, and the building in the distance, this being Blackpool, has dropped.
No, on the measuring rod. On the
95 feet from the horizontal.
No, through differential leveling, you get to measure the measuring rod, and then each point has a point of equal elevation.
Well, that's right, because differential leveling is designed to remove Earth curvature.
Okay.
That's why we do it. When you shoot equal foresights and backsights, it washes out Earth curvature. It eliminates refraction. It even eliminates culmination inaccuracy. You know that, right?
Parallel horizontals, differential leveling.
Yeah, equal foresights and backsights eliminate errors resulting from refraction, resulting from Earth curvature, or resulting from an instrument problem in culmination.
Parallel horizontals to measure elevation changes.
So that's how it actually works.
Yeah. Establishing parallel horizontals to establish a vertical change from that horizontal. And that is what we consider an elevation change. A change in the vertical.
No, that's what you consider. That is not an elevation change. You can consider it that way
the horizontal is
because it fits your narrative, but that's not what I say.
That's an elevation change.
That is not a change in elevation. It is definitely not
from
a
the
change
tool,
in
the
elevation.
auto level. Yes, a change in that is what we call a change in elevation.
No, that's what you call it. Nobody else does, but that's what you call it. Now that's up to you. You can. That's okay. We were talking about free speech earlier. Speech is free. You're perfectly free to say that, but that is not an elevation change. That is a change, a drop from horizontal. That is a deviation from horizontal. That's a better way to say it.
An elevation.
So how do we go about explaining this then? Is the auto level, was it improperly adjusted or something?
You don't look that far with the auto level. You should be looking at the measuring rod and saying, I can't even read that number, so that's obviously out of range. That's what you should be saying, Blue.
Did you set the thing up right, or?
You're not even looking at the measuring rod, Blue. You're ignoring.
No, I'm looking at
measuring rod.
I don't care about the measuring rod.
Then you're not using the tool. I don't know how many times we gotta say this.
No, but that's
you're
why
trying
we
to
did
hammer a fucking screw, bro.
That's why we did it.
Are the elevations in the picture in the distance?
Do you try to hammer screws?
Not reported.
No, Blue.
Correctly?
Give me a second, Blue. Do you use a hammer when trying to screw a screw into a board? Do you use a hammer?
No.
Well, that's what you're doing right now.
No, that's not
with the auto level. Exactly what you're doing with the auto level.
Not what I'm doing.
100%. You can say no, but tell me how you're not. Tell me how you're not.
I'm using an auto level to do what an auto level does, which is establish a horizontal
and what does it
plane
do?
of reference. It establishes a horizontal plane of reference.
You got a guy 14 miles away marking your horizontal?
Don't need it marking. I've got a documented tower out there, and
you're not measuring
the elevations of that tower.
Good job, Blue. See now.
It works perfectly. So if the elevations and distances are correct, what else is doing it? Is it severe refraction? I just showed you. Severe refraction doesn't get rid of the problem. Gets rid of a part of it, but doesn't get rid of all of it. Does that tower periodically sink into the freaking ocean? That doesn't seem to be reasonable either.
Yeah, you just
How about
don't
this?
use it over those distances.
Maybe level isn't horizontal after all. Maybe that bit on the left that I'm pointing at is level, and maybe those lines I drew on the right side are horizontal.
What?
And maybe the other bits in the center are the verticals. Maybe that's the answer.
Amazing, Blue. Do you really think that?
Absolutely, I do.
We all think that, Bob.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
definitely think differently.
Not me.
This is what the whole world thinks.
I
no.
definitely don't. Sorry.
Don't speak for the whole world. Don't even try.
So again, it was a brilliant thing to do, Bill, and I thank you so much for doing that.
Now when we look back,
outstanding.
Now when we look back, for the reason we put Blackpool Tower in the back, it all seems worth it. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, do it again. I wish you would do it again.
We can do it again.
It would be wonderful if you could do that a half a dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how it changes. Because refraction is going to change
get the disco kicking on the level. Let's get it on. Let's get it going.
It doesn't look like there was a lot of refraction that day, but I don't know. It's hard to say. So if you get it under different conditions, you could, make some judgments about
Looking
what's
at the
going on there.
measuring rod, Blue. We'll show everybody, right, that
Oh,
you
we don't
need
care
to
about
look
that.
at the measuring rod when using an auto level. It's how important the measuring rod is as a part of the tool as a whole.
Especially if you're going to throw in things like standard refraction. That's bizarre because you have to accept minimum if you're going to accept standard. And of course, we work in the most minimum conditions.
You don't, over the ranges that you use an auto level, you don't need to bring in refraction at all, ever.
Well, actually, you do. And I showed you that
You
in
just
the
don't use over
documentation
that sort of
from the
distances.
Oceanographic Center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You actually do need to consider it.
Those documents clearly said that refraction was an issue that needed to be accounted for.
I've never accounted for it. But yeah, again, I only look over, say 100 meters. That's the maximum.
Yeah, they
that
say
I've ever
only
done.
go 100 meters because of the refraction.
Yeah, they know what happens to, light when you look
Well,
at a
that
distance,
and curvature.
don't you, Blue? No, it's
At
just
100 meters,
just the light.
curvature makes a
There's
millimeter
no
difference.
curvature
That's
in the
all.
air, is there?
Less than that, so
Air
who
doesn't
really
curve,
cares?
does it, Blue?
Hmm?
Air doesn't curve.
Does it? Yeah. Do you think air has a shape, Biff?
So that's what I was asking you. When you're looking in the distance, can you say that air curves? Because you're not looking at the ground. You're not looking at Earth curvature. If you're looking in the distance, you're looking through the air. Do you think that curves?
I don't know how to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a malformed question.
Do I
You mean
think
a
the air
question you
curves?
can't answer? Yeah. Do you think the air?
Could you formulate that
curves?
question better?
I don't know what question you're trying to ask.
Is there a curvature rate of air?
Is there a curvature rate of the atmosphere? Well, of course.
It conforms to the surface of the Earth, I guess.
What, the
to a certain
curvature rate?
Like any gas, it conforms to what's containing it. In this case, it's gravity, and it's pretty consistent.
So air does have a
Not
curvature
totally,
rate. Nice.
Well, but that's just such a screwed up question. There's no
It sure is. He's just
reasonable way to answer
Would
it.
it be the same curvature rate as level?
What?
Would it be the same curvature rate as level? Because you also have level curving, don't
Well,
you?
the atmosphere is staying attached to the ball we live on, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically,
Okay.
when we say
So
or
we're on
when
a
you
ball,
say
and the ball
Earth
is curving,
curvature,
the air attached to the ball is curving like the ball is, isn't it?
okay, right. So because when you say level curves or Earth curves, you actually mean the water level curves, don't you? So
Yeah, the water level
therefore,
curves,
level curves.
Yeah.
And
It
that
does.
curvature rate is mimicked by the air.
Well, I guess so.
Okay.
It doesn't. I don't find any vacuum areas down next to the Earth anyplace.
So when you say Earth curvature, you're really saying the curvature of level.
Well, yeah.
He's got it.
Level is defined as conforming to the curvature of the Earth. That's the definition. No, this is the second entry. A second entry in internet version of some dictionary only.
It's people are allowed to use words how
It
they
says
wish.
it curvature rate of the liquid parts of the Earth's surface.
Yeah,
And just a few before, it says the liquid parts, water, have a horizontal condition.
Yeah,
so
but
there is
people-
no curvature to a horizontal. Therefore, conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the Earth's surface is horizontal, zero, no curve.
So, Bev, people are allowed to use words.
It's not
how they
wrong,
wish.
is it? To say
People
that it
are allowed-
conforms to zero curvature.
Bev, people are allowed to use words how they wish.
Not with words like level.
No, not
Yes,
in
they are.
science. No,
Yes,
absolutely
you
not.
are. That's
Not at all.
literally what you do in science. And in geodetic surveying, in that context, in that discipline, level is defined as conforming to the curvature of the Earth.
This definition is contradicting the entry which is just before that.
Yeah, but people get to use the word. People get to use words how
No,
they
no, no,
want to.
no get.
No, they do.
Maybe you can get to use, but normal people cannot get to use contradictory definitions.
Paper organist, are you familiar with the term jargon?
Oh, come on. We're not
No,
having
I-
diletheism in words around here because people decide
the
they
thing
want
is-
to define them differently.
The scientific
Let's get back to reality. We're talking about a person using a tool without one of the intended, absolutely necessary pieces of that tool, and then claiming he did a measurement. That is absolutely, totally ridiculous. Sorry, Blue. Tool abuse.
What's wrong? It's not. Is what did he do wrong? Did he set up the
It's
auto?
appalling.
What's
It's
wrong?
appalling because if you're not looking at the numbers on the stick, you're not using the tool properly. I don't understand why you guys don't get that.
That's who?
Or just choose to ignore it, I should say, because you're disingenuous pricks.
Where does it say that?
Blue told you. Brenda, why are you even here? I mean, you have no clue
know how the
about
tool
anything.
works?
You're just here to make trouble.
Bring argument instead of creating contradictory definitions like the level. Because I have a question for Rob Perks if he agrees that definition can be contradictory.
Yes, definitions can be contradictory.
Wrong.
All right.
This
Isn't
is
that
not
diletheism?
definition.
Then,
Because
okay.
I am giving you a reason because if you have definition of triangle and you name it what it is, that has 3 sides and 3 angles, therefore you cannot say that triangle is a square.
Sure.
It would, yes, sure. So if we have a level being straight according to horizon and horizontal line, therefore it cannot be curved because straight cannot be curved. So it cannot be this definition. This one of these definition is false, obviously. And you can
No, I would say not. For your example of the triangle, I would agree. You cannot call a triangle a square. But if you look at any number of words in the English language, they do have multiple definitions, and some of them are contradictory, like the word theory, for example.
Blue
When a
did say you could have a
scientist-
3, 4, or 5-sided square. So
when you are a scientist and you use the word theory far differently than someone who is a layperson.
yes, but in this definition of horizontal or level rather is a scientific definition, and
Yes, so a scientist will use the word level differently than a layperson will use the word level.
yes, and they would use that horizontal is level is parallel to level, not conforming to any curve.
A scientist will say that level conforms to a curve. A
No.
layperson will not.
Well, whatever. Look, Bill, thanks again for letting me drop by today and have a chat. Since Mobius doesn't seem to want to do anything about LIGO today.
Sunday, Blue.
We'll,
Are we on for
we'll
Sunday still?
We'll do something, maybe, yeah. We'll see if we
Cool.
find a time that works on Sunday.
Sounds great.
Could I get one question in before you go, Blue?
Sure.
Thanks. Can one man's horizontal be another man's vertical? Because that diagram you drew there.
That's a silly question. I'm not even going to bother.
Thanks for putting up with me, Blue.
No problem, Rob.
Yeah, thanks for that.
You plead the fifth on that one, Blue?
It's a silly question, Montreal. You know how the model works. And if you don't by now, give up. You'll never know.
All right, Blue.
All right, guys. We'll see you
Nice
later.
to have you.
All right.
Take it easy, Blue.
Thanks, Blue.
Once you
once you've got the pictures, let us know. To check your stadia hairs if you can read them. That's all I want to see.
It's a bit tilted now.
I'm after 500 meters, and we're at 75 at the minute. So let's get this going.
For the stadia hairs, you'll have to.
Nice. So are we happy with that then?
Yeah.
500 meters.
Barely see the stick. No numbers.
Yep,
Just the
I
colors.
think that's very good.
What's been the change at Blackfield Tower then? Within these shots.
Huge. You're halfway.
Oh yeah.
The pole is halfway, Bev. Now.
There's been
There
a
you go.
change. No way. Things dropping.
You wouldn't expect it, but
What?
yeah.
Yeah, and you've changed size as well, because at the beginning you were just as big as Backpool Tower, and now you're just this tiny person.
Yeah. Wow. Who'd have thunk it? All right, are we ready then? Can we come back and pack up? I don't think the batteries are going to last long.
Yeah.
We need.
Yeah, that's
Or,
it. That's the
But